Hi, good afternoon. My name is Ken Peters, and I have been a professional insurance agent now for over 25 years. I've been in the Los Alamitos, Seal Beach area for that entire time period. And one of my specialties, one of my real passions, is in commercial insurance, in particular, insuring apartment buildings. Yeah, I've considered this question pretty seriously, and what's interesting is that from my experiences, again in over 25 years, and particularly, to be honest with you, with the economy and the things that have happened to this country in the last year or two, uh, and with actually to the I think let me add the advent of the internet, that also adds some interesting dynamics to the type of customers and what people tend to be emphasizing. I think that there has been an overemphasis, in my opinion, on purely price. So many people, they might email or they might fax or what have you, and what they're doing is they're purely shopping for a particular price. If they're paying $2,000 a year now for their apartment policy, maybe they'll switch for if they can get it down to 1900 or 1950 or whatever their particular parameters might be. But what I want to share today is some other considerations. I think that, in my opinion, and if you stop and consider it, I think that the attitude should be more, hey, what if you were to view an insurance professional as more of your as an asset protection specialist versus again just trying to commoditize them and are the purchasing process. I think you should stop and consider have a longer term approach. Hey, I'd like to pick out an agent, a broker that will be with me over a 10-year period or longer, and they're going to be my expert. I'm going to view even the picking process just like I would my family doctor or my attorney. I think that again, we people tend to be too price orientated, and they're not considering other aspects. Yeah, I'd like to share just one. And again, if you think in terms of a long-term relationship, and that this agent, this professional, this asset protection specialist, that's what I consider myself. I'm going to help protect you from a major financial catastrophe with your property and so forth. Uh, Again, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to happen over the just like any other relationship. There's going to be things that's going to occur that's going to give your agent an opportunity to either provide expertise and value in service and so forth, based on how they respond to various scenarios over the years. So I like to stop at this time and give you a couple of examples of specifically things that have happened in my agency and how I've responded to it. The first example that I wanted to discuss and share with you, this was a few years back. There was a lender, won't name any names here, but there was a lender that contacted us and said that they wanted building ordinance on this particular apartment complex to be at 100%. Now, on some of my other presentations here, you'll see where I have a whole segment where I talk about what the building ordinance law and so forth is. It's a special endorsement that you don't have to have. But at any rate, without getting into the details of that particular endorsement, this lender contacted us and they were demanding that particular endorsement be added onto this apartment complex policy, and they wanted it at 100%. Now, normally when people even get this ordinance, this particular coverage, they'll might do a 10% or 25%. That is in relationship to total building coverage. So if you had, say, 500,000 in coverage on a building, 10% would be 50,000, right, for the building ordinance. Well, this bank was making this request. They wanted 100%. Now, I can tell you that there's a lot of agents, there's a lot of brokers that their response to that may well have been, "Hell, beautiful. We can pick up an extra $2,000-3,000 a year in premium. It would be expensive to do that on that particular policy." Again, a lot of agents would say, "Hey, great, another few $1,000s here a year in premium, so it gives me an opportunity to, make a little bit of money here." Hey, no problem. They would just proceed. They would probably contact the client and say, "Hey, your bank made this requirement, so this is what we did, end of story." Well, again, I'm very price sensitive, I'm very value orientated, and my attitude was, no, look, first of all, this is an unreasonable request, and let's see if we can't be creative here and do some things to help save the client some money. So bottom line is that without getting into all the details, I was able to provide documentation that satisfied the lender, and I made the policyholder aware of what was happening. And at the end of the day, let's put it this way: the policyholder didn't pay another nickel a year for the, shall we say, that request from that lender.